Oh wow, we've got the whole.
He's still not in there.
How come I'm not in there?
We got trying to get everybody in here.
There you are.
Let's see if we can. We'll just scoot together. That's all. We'll get real close. No, it's all good. So yeah, we've got everybody here. Danny, we've got John Tobias. Thanks so much, John, for coming all the way out here, man. It's a pleasure to have you on stream. Again, John Turk's been joining us, giving us some really fun stories about mythologies and Mortal Kombat 3, and some really interesting stories about how difficult it was to play Shang Tsung. So yeah, and just really cool stuff in general. So I guess the first thing we'll start off with here is there's a lot of fans here are intrigued to know if you guys have any plans for anything in future projects.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, right now I work as an art director at a company called Zynga, and I have like a staff of about 8 artists that I work with. So we touch a lot of different products, but we do basically puzzle games, for mobile products. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Nothing as exciting as the stuff I did with these guys way back when.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, what you've done with Mortal Kombat is huge. Do you ever see yourself doing anything like in fighting games in the future?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know you never say never.
Yeah.
Is one thing, and I mean, who would have thought, this many years later, we would still be here talking about a game, so old. So yeah, it's great that it's had the life that it's had.
It is absolutely insane, man. And I know Doc Mack has been working on a game called Dark Presence. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't?
No, I have not.
It looks kind of cool.
Okay.
It's really good stuff. And, being friends with Danny for a couple years, Danny's told me some fun stories about you. Today was the first day I got to meet you, which is really cool. I know Danny and I have been working on some stuff. As a matter of fact, I didn't know if you wanted to. I got it watermarked and everything, but do you want to show anybody the stuff and have you and John? Or
sure, if you want to. A couple minutes?
Yeah.
Making of the stuff you gave me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
let's do maybe a couple minutes.
Just a couple minutes, however long, and then you tell me when you want to stop, and we're good. Okay. So we've got some of this stuff, and we're going to show this off here. So we've got this loaded, and I think everybody said they wanted to see Johnny Cage. So they wanted to see some stuff from Johnny Cage. So I guess we'll go with that. Which I'm not going to disagree with. That's my favorite character. So let's
Father
see.
of all characters.
Yes. Technically.
Just like me.
So we'll go ahead and get this started here. And I'll let you guys just kind of talk over it, kind of explain what you're doing and what's going on. All that fun stuff. So I think it's
some of this is
old school.
Yeah, this was us figuring out, hey, we better put some tape on the ground because his feet are going to move. Yeah. The thing about Danny and when we did Johnny Cage was he was there goes that. He was the first character we had done, and so we were kind of learning as we went. So Danny really got put through the paces. Like probably you came back, I don't know how many days in a row.
Yeah, like 4 days in a row. Yeah.
Right. Like by the time John Turk got involved, we had probably had the process down fairly well. Okay. So I bet you it was still a long day, probably a 12-hour day.
Yeah, we did 12 hours.
12, 14 hours, yeah. But I think that, all this kind of stuff we had already worked out, the kinks.
Wow. That's awesome.
But yeah, that's what we're doing there. That's the first... that little box that Ed and I are taping actually ended up being the same box that we used for all the other characters that came in to shoot.
Yeah. And we did the box before, but other people who would come in would remove the tape.
Maybe.
So we would have to, when we would come in, all of a sudden we'd be like, where's the markings? And John would be like, I don't know, they were here before, but somebody took them, and so...
We remedied that. I think after what we had to do was write the project name on the tape.
Yeah.
So the other teams wouldn't pull the tape off.
Oh, wow.
Nobody wants to mess with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. This was, I'm trying to think, the room that we shot in here was the same room that we shot with John a few years later. And here, it was more of a storage room.
Our first day of shooting, we actually had to clean out a space to film.
I do remember that, yeah.
We did use it, actually we did use this to, other projects were using the space as well, but we painted the walls gray. We didn't have blue screening back then. The technology for capturing wasn't as refined as it was by the time John got involved. And so we would shoot in front of a green screen. I mean, when John was here, got involved, we shot in front of a green screen. When Danny was here, we shot in front of gray background, and then we would have to by hand trace around his contour every frame. And that was it was time consuming. But again, by the time John got involved, we were capturing images digitally. We had software that would grab each frame and strip the images. And so that just in a couple of years, the technology had advanced so much.
It became like a really well-oiled machine by the sounds of it.
Yeah, because when I got on there, I was surprised not only how it was running, but just the knowledge you guys had about martial arts. They were telling me certain things.
They took John and Ed would take lessons from me.
You had everything. I mean, pretty neat.
Yeah, John and Ed took lessons from me. So they would come a couple times a week, and we would just goof around and talk about like martial arts, like more of the style to give them an idea of what kind of what to put in the game.
Right. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.